So this is the participant training video for the MRI chest study. And the purpose of this video is to give you an overview of what to expect as a participant in the study, the MRI part of the study, and what to do for the tasks when you're actually in the scanner undergoing the MRI scan. So firstly, thank you for expressing an interest in this study. The first thing that you would need to do is go through the screening form, which has probably been sent to you already. If you haven't already done that, then do email me, the researcher, Joanne Powell, and I will send that across to you. So the screening form has lots of questions about your medical history to make sure that it's safe for you to be scanned. We really want to just make sure that you've not got any metal in you. Things like if you've got earrings or other body piercings, that you can take these out before you go into the scanner. There's quite a few different things on that. So just go through it and see what you might say yes to on pages 2 and 3. You'll be screened properly by our radiographer at the MRI centre, so they'll be able to go through the form with you in more detail. So safety is our number one priority here, and as I said before, it's important that even things like jewellery, you can remove all of those and know that you can remove them. Sometimes people have got to the MRI centre, think that they'll be able to remove jewellery and piercings and then haven't been able to. So it's just checking for things like that. The other thing is with regards to the noise. You would have to wear earplugs when you're actually being scanned. So you need to be able to put earplugs in. So when you get to the centre, you would be screened first. A few safety things will be run past you. You will be asked to get gowned up. We'll ask you to wear your earplugs. You'll go into the scanner, which looks a little bit like this scanner we can see in the picture here. You'll be given response buttons, so you'll be lying down nice and comfortably, and we will talk very loud because at that point you have earplugs in. And we'll hand you some response buttons so you can respond to the tasks, which I'll explain to you in a bit. And you'll be given a buzzer to squeeze. Now the blue buzzer is the safety buzzer. So if you were in the scanner and started to panic and you wanted to come out, for any reason you wanted to come out, you would just give that buzzer a squeeze. We would stop the scan immediately and bring you out. In terms of the scan itself, there'll be some structural scans. So when you actually get into the scanner, we will just ask you to lie there nice and still. Don't say anything, don't move. Just keep nice and still. You can have your eyes closed. You can just relax as much as possible. So there's a couple of scans. Some of them we do at the start, and then there's one at the end. And then in between that, there's two tasks. These are called the functional tasks. There's a theory of mind task and a chest blitz task, which I'll talk you through. So I'll just go through these first, and then we'll go back and give you a chance to actually get your fingers ready as if you were in the scanner with your fingers kind of hovering over a button. So in the theory of mind task, you'll be asked to do one of 4 things. The first one is, what will the main character do next? So you're given this instruction. Some images are presented at the top of the screen. So 3 images are presented at the top of the screen, displaying or depicting the progression of an event or scenario or chess game as it unfolds. Then you'll be given a further image. It's got 2 images at the bottom, numbered 1 or 2, and you have to decide which of those 2 images is either the thing that the main character will do next, is the thing which is most likely to happen next, is the move that you will make next if it's a chess game, or is where you think the ball would end up. This will make sense in a moment when we actually go through the images. So you choose the image that best follows or completes the event, scenario or chess game. So if you think it's number 1, you press with your left finger. So you've just got your left index finger over the button. Or if you think it's number 2, you will press with your right index finger. So you've just got to remember to remain very still throughout the duration of the task. Okay, so I'll show you some examples. In the first example, if you're asked, what will the main character do next? You might be given an event like this, which we can see in those 3 images, is the progression of an event unfolding. So 2 people sitting at a table, one of them looks over to the other and points to a bottle. It looks like it's got some sort of fluid in there. And so we're thinking, what will the main character do next? So will they drink it? He's maybe not looking too sure about that. Or will he bring the bottle of the fluid over? He's probably pointing at it because he wants some. So you would press 2. So you would press with your right index finger. And in the second example, we've got some girl is coming, looking at the fast food menu. She's pointing at something. She hands over some cash, and now there's a tray of food. Well, you're probably already thinking that she's going to pick up the food and walk away with it. So 2 is the thing that should happen next. Perhaps not the person behind the counter suddenly eating the food. Okay, so the really simple scenarios here, we see this event unfolding here, the answer is probably 2. In the next example, the correct answer is probably 2 again. That's what the main character will do, walk away with the food. What is most likely to happen next? Okay, so we've got another scenario here. A man behind a desk there, another one comes, they look at each other, and it looks like he is gesturing to the chair, so probably he should sit down rather than just walk away, in which case the correct answer would be 2 again. So in this example, 2 people facing each other, one of them's got a ball. He looks like he's gesturing to say throw the ball, so probably you should throw the ball rather than just walk away. Again, it's quite a simple scenario. I seem to have picked 2 as the correct response for all of these. That wasn't intentional. It could be the case that 1 is correct. So you're just following the event and deciding in response to the question what's most likely to happen next. So let's move on to the chess game questions now. So what move will you make next? So what we can see here is the progression of a game. So this first one here highlights the first piece to be moved. So this piece is moved here, which we can see there, and then white moves from this position over here. So then you have to decide what move you would make next out of these 2 options. Okay, so you just, if you think it's 1, if you think you would make that move, then you would press 1 with your left index finger. If you think you would make that move, you would press with the right index finger. So similar again, you can see here, this is the first piece to be moved. We move it down here, then white goes, so now it's black's turn. So again, do you think you would make move 1 or move 2? Where should the ball end up? This one is a little bit tricky because when you're first getting used to it. So basically the ball can move across, it can move from one side to the next. So it either moves this way from this side to this side, or it moves from one side to the other, from top to bottom or left to right. It can't move suddenly from left to top or from left to bottom. It can only move from left to right or top to bottom. So we can see it starts here, it moves over to the right, back to the left. So what we're thinking is it should move somewhere along the right side now. So it should be number 1, not 2, because as I say, it can't move from left to the top or to the bottom. So we see another example here. It starts here, so it can move top to bottom, so top, then it goes to bottom, then to top. So it should end up on the bottom. So 1, not 2. Hopefully that makes sense once you get used to it. And you can run through this video as many times as you like. The chess blitz task is a little bit more straightforward for you chess players. So at the beginning of each block, you'll be shown either the word game or the word random, followed by the length of time the chessboard will be shown for. So basically, this is the length of time that you have to make a decision. So in the game condition, you're presented with a chessboard and you're always white in the game, never black. So you must decide what move you'll make next. In this game, in this particular task, you only press with your right index finger, okay? So you don't need to worry about that other hand now. And all you're doing is you press with your right index finger when you've made your decision as to what move you'll make next. In the random condition, you're presented with a chessboard. Some of the chess pieces on the board are marked with a star. You need to search for the chess pieces marked with a star, and you are basically counting the stars. You're counting the number of stars that you see, and you press with your right index finger when you finish counting the stars. So either in the game condition, you press when you've made a decision with your right index finger. In the random condition, you press with your right index finger when you've finished counting the stars. So just remain still throughout the task, so don't forget about that. So game. Now when you've decided what move you're going to make next, you just press with your right index finger. Random, so we're just counting the number of stars that we see here. And when you've finished counting all of the stars, the game will just will time out and then change. So even if you've finished counting and you press the button, it's not going to move on automatically. It's only going to move on when a certain period of time has passed. So don't think pressing it is suddenly going to make it move on, because that's not the case. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you.